So I'm meeting up with someone for dinner. I'm in the area like an hour early, but the cafe that I was at closed. So I'm just gonna sit in my car for an hour. I was gonna work, but I kind of don't feel like working anymore. Anyway, I'm just straight up sitting in my car with my matcha. It's 5 p.m. I like straight up should not be drinking this, but here we are anyway. This is probably why I feel anxiety. I don't really have an agenda, but when do I ever really have an agenda? I feel like I talk for talking's sake. I don't really have anything casually profound to share ever. What I've been thinking about, like when I was driving over, is how I've been off social media for about 3 weeks now, and what that's looked like. As someone who's self-proclaimed as like extremely online, I feel like the concept of being not on social media was so foreign to me. I'd worked in social media marketing for about 4 years, and honestly, I didn't really love it. I just didn't like having to feel like so attached to the internet, and so much of my livelihood like depended on staying connected. I remember I would have a really long day, but then I'd go on TikTok and then I'd be like, oh yeah, this is all in the name of like I'm doing research, doing market research on like what's trending. It's like, no, you're not. You're just doom scrolling. Like, don't even try to pretend. Like being online all the time was just so draining. I think Instagram specifically just feels very performative. It's just a lot of people are on there just to look at other people. The majority of average individuals and users aren't really posting things anymore. Yeah, most people that I know, like personally in real life, don't post anything. It's only people like content creators or influencers or whatever you want to call them that would actually post on social media. And it was just this weird dichotomy of feeling like I was constantly being perceived online, because I would post stuff. Like I would post regularly on my stories. I used to post a lot on Instagram Reels, like in 2021. I don't think I was ever trying to like go viral or like make it big, but it was more so a form of creative expression for me and like a way to document my life. I think now that's kind of transitioned into YouTube instead, because I just prefer longer form content. It feels a lot more intentional and personal. My YouTube videos have my fingerprints all over it, whereas a Instagram Reel or a TikTok, just a very quick hit. Yeah, I just like the art of longer form a little bit better. That does like pretty much, oh, that actually does something. I'm not too sure. Okay, so Instagram, I just honestly started to feel like it was just this weird place on the internet where everyone was just watching me. I felt that some people only followed me because of my connections or different people that I've worked with. People seem to be interested in my employers more so than they were interested in me as a person, and that kind of feels weird. It just feels like people are looking at my stuff just to catch a glimpse of someone's ponytail. In that sense, it just felt like I was being watched. I've talked about like being perceived and not loving the feeling of being perceived. On Instagram, it was like on a whole nother level. Well, with Instagram, everything is just so curated, and there just feels like so much judgment, and I don't really know where it comes from. Maybe it is just like this power imbalance of like creators versus consumers. I think the average person would consider themselves a consumer now more so than a creator. I just miss when Instagram used to be a lot more casual and like fun and stupid. Like all the hashtags we used to use. I don't know, I got on Instagram I think my freshman year of high school, which was back in 2012. So it just felt like back then everyone was so unabashed and like people didn't really care about their digital footprint. I always had a camera with me. I always was taking photos of things or videos, and I was always that person that would do like this huge album dump on Facebook, and everyone would get like auto tagged in it. As I've gotten older, I've just been more cognizant of not only my digital footprint, but my digital currency in a sense of like what people can see about me. I feel like there's a lot of talk of people wanting to stay on social media, on Instagram specifically, especially consumers, out of the sake of like,
oh, it keeps me connected with people. Like I get to keep in touch with people that I don't talk to or see very often.
Like you're lying to yourself. Like you're lying to yourself. You're not staying connected with these people at all. At most, you're just seeing an Instagram story of what they had to eat on Friday night, or where they went with their friends, or what cafe they're working from. Like, you're not actually connecting with these people. At most, you do like a little like on their story or you respond to their story. And don't even get me started on how nobody comments on posts anymore. Yo, it's like just so embarrassing. For some reason, I like post on Instagram and nobody comments on my posts. Okay, I'm yelling. Relax. It just felt weird. I was like in this limbo of I'm not a content creator. I don't have like a K next to my follower count, but I also wasn't just like an extremely average user who doesn't post anything. And I've done like polls on my Instagram story, kind of temperature check where people are at with social media and their usage of it, specifically Instagram. That's my like scientific research. That's me polling my audience. Anyway, and I remember asking once, I think this was like a year or two ago now, I was just like, oh, how come nobody posts anymore? Like, what's your relationship like with Instagram and how come you don't post? And a lot of it was just like, oh, it feels like nobody cares. So this whole notion of, oh, I'm on Instagram to like stay connected with my friends, it's like, are you really? Like, when was the last time you actually intentionally reached out to these people and called them, FaceTime them, text them? You had an actual conversation that wasn't in the Instagram DM section, you know? That goes beyond sending them reels or TikToks. Social media has been created because a bunch of like tech guys were just lonely. And they wanted to feel something, you know, like Meta. Also, Meta buying out Instagram like completely destroyed the app, and I stand by that. There's just been like very little authentic and new innovative ideas from Instagram since it was bought out in like 2014. Like, the growth of the app has been so stifled, and they're just like so scared of all of their competitors. The social media platform that has the most longevity and has stood the test of time has been YouTube. I think long form will continue to be relevant for ages. I was calling a friend today and she mentioned that YouTube is hitting like their 20-year anniversary this year. Like 20 years of YouTube, that's a really long time. I was 6 or 7 when YouTube started, which is just insane to me because I feel like I literally grew up on it. I remember watching a bunch of Asian American creators, and I grew up not really seeing myself represented in media on the TV, but I saw myself in YouTube and in creators and, you know, learning how to put my makeup on. People who had similar eye shapes as me and similar skin tone as me. It's been such a rich platform for people of all backgrounds and stories to share things, share content. Whereas Instagram, especially Instagram Reels and just this creator economy, I've just felt that everything just meshes together. There's a lot of tried and true recipes for success that a lot of people have noticed on Instagram as a platform. When I had got off Instagram 3 weeks ago, like, it could be different by now, genuinely. That's how fast trends change, but what was big was really high quality short form content where you're using a really nice camera, you use very nice sound design, like with clicks and glitches and just like sounds that just scratch an itch in your brain, and there's like really nice type. Usually there was like a script of some sort matched with either a really sleek serif that was skinnier and tall, or a more chunky, bold sans serif. It was the same formula. It had to be very nicely lit and color graded, and you had to be giving some informational message, benefit your consumers and your audience, and that would lead to shares and saves, comments, likes, like all of the currency of social engagement. And yeah, like I was saying, it could be completely different by now. I don't know how the platform has changed in the past 3 weeks. Since I got off social media, I don't think of myself as better than anyone. Like, my attention span is still goldfish level brain. I don't think I'm any better than anyone because I'm not on Instagram and TikTok. Definitely not like that. I feel like I have a lot more mental and emotional clarity. I didn't realize how cluttered my brain was from staying in touch with all of these social media trends. Like, when Wicked came out, I was so invested in Bok Talk, and I was talking about Bok Talk with everybody that I could because it was just front of mind for me. So I was thinking about it. My brain was always thinking about like TikTok sounds. A little bit crazy to think about now, and it's not that like I'm not thinking about social media anymore, like I definitely do, but it's more so that my brain isn't primed for that kind of content anymore. Like I don't strictly think in that kind of language the way that I used to. I just find it all very interesting and how quickly trends change on social media. And as someone who worked in social media marketing, it was like literally my job to stay on top of these trends and to understand how these trends can be capitalized and used as a form of marketing. Because at the end of the day, like, social media is for marketing. There's a lot of discussion on, staying connected with people, but like, let's be so real. It's for marketing. A lot of companies lobby through social media, as we've seen with TikTok and how it got taken down for like 18 hours and then brought back again. Thank you, Donald Trump, I guess. It has to do with these ultra rich billionaires and these tech companies and the way that they're running these platforms. It's for their gain. Social media, especially now in this age, is not for staying connected. It's like an illusion to like get people to continue to stay on the app. Instagram, at least. I feel like I just have like so much ill will towards Instagram specifically because, like, genuinely, what good have you brought us? Okay, let me calm down. It has brought good. I think it has brought up a lot of needed conversations about political issues and policies, and it gives people a voice. Like, one example that I can think of is during the LA County fires earlier this year. It was absolutely devastating to see, and there was so much community involvement and community building through Instagram specifically that was just really beautiful to witness. Maybe it's just like confirmation bias because I have a lot of friends that live in the LA County area, so they were sharing content about it and infographics and ways to help and donation links and all that kind of stuff. Maybe it has to do with like the people that I'm surrounding myself with, but I just felt like it was really, really beautiful to witness the sense of community and how social media can be people and it can be social in that aspect. But more often than not, I would say out of the 365 days in a year, probably 250 of those days, like, it's not related to community involvement and community building and community uplifting. It's like a paid partnership that a content creator is doing that they made a 6-figure deal off of. And oh my gosh, don't even get me started on like PR. It's a mixed bag for me because the things I would do to get like PR from Tower 28, I love that brand. But also, do content creators really need all six shades of your newest foundation? Not Tower 28, but just like a general concept. Do content creators really need that? Do they really need a PR box of all 25 shades of your newest lipstick line? I don't think so. And there's so much waste in that. I think it's just the content that I'm consuming because I'm mostly looking at fashion and beauty, skincare, makeup, those kind of creators. So that's the kind of overconsumption that I'm seeing. I think I have a big bone to pick when it comes to overconsumption in social media space. I understand that a lot of creators do take these excess products and they do like giveaways, but also there is like a tax benefit to this kind of stuff. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because this is just my understanding of what I've learned in the past few years. It could be different now. To my understanding, when you are gifted PR, if it's over $100, you have to pay taxes on it. And all of these creators that, go on trips, they can make a TikTok about it. They can make an Instagram video. They can make a YouTube video about it. And these can be tax write-offs. So that plane ticket can be a tax write-off. Like, there's a lot of intricacies to the business of being a content creator that I find very interesting, and I've just ruminated over a lot in the past few years of working in this space and just being exposed to it and having conversations about it with my friends. It's like a really mixed bag, and I understand that it's just kind of like how people make money. I'm not throwing any shade at all. This creator economy exists, and this influencer marketing economy exists and is continuing to be propped up by businesses and consumers alike because it works. It really works. Like, if you think about a creator that you've watched recently, you probably trust them more than just like a random ad that you see on YouTube, like before a video plays, or a random ad that you see on Super Bowl Sunday. These creators that we watch and we consistently tune into, whether we like to admit it or not, we have a parasocial relationship with them where we trust their recommendations, we trust the products that they use, even like 2% of trust. Companies count on this to connect with this influencer market to promote their products. Podcasts like to do paid product placements in their videos. There's just a lot of money in marketing in the creator and influencer space. Like, that's why there's money in it, because it works. There is like credible data and there's a lot of numbers with this. There are entire influencer marketing teams at lots of companies. Okay, that's literally so unnecessary. Why is that car so loud? I just don't love the idea of our attention also being a form of currency. These apps are designed psychologically to make sure that you stay on it. There's the reason why there's an infinite scroll, because you don't have to think about it. If you had to click like next page, then like maybe you think about it. But the TikTok For You page, the Instagram Discover page, like all of it is just an endless feed. It's a black hole. That is because your attention is the currency. As long as you can stay doom scrolling and connected and on their physical app, they're making money off of it. Somebody's making money off of it. And like maybe you don't think you're spending money, but think about the last product that you bought. Like, did you get it because you saw someone online have it, because you saw an ad about it? Like, in the past month, I haven't bought anything aside from going to cafes and eating out. The only thing that I was considering buying was this jacket because my friends spoke so highly about it. So I was like, maybe I do need one. I know for a 1000% fact that if I was on Instagram, I'd be getting these targeted ads for sure right now because of how many times I've looked it up. There's so much money in it, and there's so much overconsumption, and there's so many like little tricks that they do to keep your attention. I don't love the idea of my brain being completely overloaded with TikTok trends. So yeah, all this to say is I've felt a lot more mental and emotional clarity the past few weeks of being off social media. I think my attention span is still not great. Like, I still catch myself watching a YouTube video and like reading Substack on my phone or going on Pinterest. I still want to multitask, and I don't think that that's like an overnight fix for me personally, because my attention span is truly shot after being addicted to my phone for all these years. But it's a start, and I was actually pretty surprised. I thought going cold turkey would be extremely difficult, and I'm not saying it was easy, but I randomly deleted Instagram. I deactivated my Instagram and I signed out of TikTok. Like, I have both of the apps on my phone still, but I just like moved it off of my homepage and into like that last page on your phone where it's like all of the apps. I don't know the technical names of any of these things. Since deleting it, I've only like mentally reached for the app, Instagram specifically, once, and TikTok once. Maybe it's because I had thought about this for a long time, and I clearly have a lot of thoughts about it, and I feel so strongly, as I always do. Deleting it was truly on a whim. I was just really overwhelmed by the amount of content that I was consuming and what it was doing for my mental health, and just feeling a sense of like losing control of myself. I was just spending so much time doing nothing on these apps. Like, yeah, I was learning things, and I think TikTok specifically has a lot of educational stuff, genuinely, and it's a lot of interesting conversations being had and pop culture references, and there's a lot of good that can come from social media. Okay, can we like extend this? Like, what's going on? It's so bright. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, let's freaking go. Never mind. I had just expected that I would just feel the withdrawal a little bit more, but I didn't. And I think another interesting layer to this conversation is, in the most neutral way possible, I thought that people would notice that I was gone. In comparison to some of my friends, I'm like a more active social media user, Instagram specifically. Like, I would actually post stuff. A lot of my friends don't post, like I shared in the very beginning. So I thought that like my silence would be noticed. Also, I use my Finsta like religiously. My profile, my Finsta, just straight up never not had a circle. Like, I always had something on my story. It was very obnoxious. So sorry to all my friends that follow my Finsta, but yeah, I just thought that like maybe those people would notice. I had only 2 people ask me about it. One was a friend who asked me like the night of. I deactivated at like 6 and then I turned my phone off. For the rest of the day, I was over it. That day was done for me. I saw that she texted me. I saw it the next day. She was like, "Hey, saw that you deactivated your Instagram. Like, is everything okay? Like, support this decision, of course, but like, just want to check in, make sure you're okay." Really appreciate that. It's like a wellness check, because everyone knows how like attached I am to social media. But nobody else really noticed that I was gone. I had a friend that I called today. She was like, "I noticed you're like not on Instagram anymore. Like, did Did you deactivate? I can't find you. I think people only notice when they want to send me something, because it's like you can't find my username anymore when you deactivate. Anyway, this lighting is like bothering me. Like, this is like golden hour, cool, nice, but like I don't love what it's doing. I don't love my complexion. And but anyway, it was very humbling feeling like nobody cares, you know? Like, it's not that deep. Nobody cares that I'm gone. Nobody noticed that I was gone. Even the ones that did, it's just kind of like life just goes on. And I've had conversations of like, oh, did you see that trend where, or what about that TikTok sound where this video that I saw was so funny where, and like, I don't know any of them anymore. And it's only been 3 weeks. 3 weeks is not that much time. And I'm already out of the loop. So it's a beautiful feeling to just not know and not feel like the need to know. It's been really nice to be off social media. I think part of it has to do with having had worked in the space for a few years. It's just very overwhelming, and just feeling like I need to get away. And the easiest way to do that was honestly just to deactivate. I knew that just deleting the app wouldn't really do anything for me, especially if I can access it still on the web browser. Yeah, those have been my thoughts. It's been helpful to not like doom scroll at night, but you like get rid of one thing and then you just kind of pick up another, you know? So for me, my other has been Substack. I've liked Substack for a while. I like reading other people's writing and getting to like be in their head, and sometimes feel like they're in my head with the things that they write about and opinions that they have. So often now, like, my nightly doom scroll is just Substack. Sometimes it's Pinterest. I'm not any better than someone who is on social media, you know. I still use YouTube, of course. I have noticed that my YouTube consumption has gone up in this time. You get rid of one thing and you just pick up another. But I'm happy with this. I don't see myself getting back on Instagram anytime soon. I don't really feel a need for it. I feel really happy with the in-person connections that I've made, and even just keeping in touch with friends through texting or sending each other photos of things. And some of my friends will send me things that they post on their stories because they're like, since you can't see this, like, I posted this and I want you to see this, that this is what I'm up to, this is what we've been doing, da 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 da. And it's very sweet to receive things like that. It's like so personal, and it feels way more intentional than like just watching someone's story on their Finsta, because like, okay, yeah, maybe they only have 8 followers and it's truly an honor to be in the presence of this exclusive, gate-kept content, but I would just much rather call about it or like text about it and just like hear it directly from you and not just watch it on my screen. And like, we're holding each other at arm's length when we're on social media. There's so many ways to keep in touch that don't involve posting on your story, you know? So that's where I'm at with things. I think it's time to go to dinner soon, because I've been talking for like 40 minutes. Let's freaking go. Yeah. I love talking. If you are my friend and you didn't notice that I was off Instagram, how dare you? But also, like, who cares? I like just signed out of TikTok. I didn't delete it. So if you see my profile on there still, like, don't come for me. I didn't want to delete it because, like, I have so many saved things that I want to access at some point again. If you need a sign to delete your Instagram, to deactivate any of your social media accounts, this is it. I don't see any downsides to it, genuinely. I've met a couple people who are, like, don't use social media, and I've always been, like, so enthralled by them. I'm like, wow, you're just this rare, wild animal. Wow. What's it like to be better than everyone? And then they're just kind of like, I don't know, like, it's just social media, like, who cares? I just, like, text my friends. And I was like, oh! But what about your highly curated aesthetic life that you need to put on the internet so that everyone feels like they know you? And they're like, what's wrong with you? At the end of the day, like, it's just social media. Do I miss looking at my story archive? Yeah, that thing is a masterpiece. I built that brick by brick. I still stand by that. I would look at my story archive all the time. I'm like, I really killed it with this. I really cooked here. Like, ooh, that looks so good. I'm jealous of my own life. But what they say about it being a highlight reel is so true. I do find myself taking photos less, though, because I don't think about wanting to post it anywhere. So I've been trying to be more intentional about, like, taking photos and videos of things still, just like little moments. I take pictures of my food a lot less, which has been funny. I think I read a Substack article about like how the phone eats first and how everybody has like all these photos of food on their phone, but like do we ever look at it again? No. Like maybe we post it and other people like look at it and they're like, that looks so good, where's this restaurant? And you either tell or you gatekeep. Yeah, it's like we have all these photos of food on our phone. And then what? I think the only photos of food that I look at are like from Taiwan or from when I travel. I think back on those meals fondly. But a day-to-day, like, meal, who cares? If I'm out with friends, great. I care about those people. But who cares that I had a sandwich? Not future me, just clutter on my phone. I'll remember those conversations more fondly than I will a photo of our meal. I'd encourage you to text a friend, call someone, make connections, or deepen your current connections and be intentional with it. Like, isn't it so nice when people reach out and like they genuinely care about you? Like, you could be that person to somebody. This is turning into an inspirational TED Talk. That's all I have for today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Car chats. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you have a great day and a great weekend, and get off Instagram. Because you're just making money for people that are already really rich. And it's at the sake of your attention. Like, go read a book. Go touch some grass. Yeah. Go outdoors. Enjoy the sunshine. Talk to people in real life. Okay, bye! I'm completely unrelated, but does anyone ever look at themselves and realize that they have a lot of fine lines and creasing? Hello? When did all of this happen? Yo, I'm only 26. I need to like get on that skincare game. I stopped using this eye bag cream, because I got lazy. It's catching up to me, okay? Like, make better decisions for yourself.